Hello, everybody. I'm Mary Bubala. Here's a closer look at exactly where the train went off an elevated section of the tracks above Falls Road just before 3:30 this afternoon. Right now, WJZ is live with team coverage of the derailment. Max McGee and Paul Gessler speak with witnesses about the scary moments, but we begin with Kimberly Eaton live on the scene with the latest on what happened and the investigation now underway. Kimberly?
And Mary, 8 hours after the derailment, it's pretty quiet out here. A big change from earlier today. We have seen a few CSX employees still here walking the tracks in the dark and a single fire truck standing guard below. Of course, the key question tonight is what caused this empty freight train to slow down and then just tumble off the tracks. Working with flashlights well into Friday night, CSX inspectors are investigating what caused a freight train to topple off the tracks hours earlier, sending 5 cars crashing onto the pavement of Falls Road 70 feet below.
Extremely thankful and grateful that no one was walking through that way, no immense amount of cars was driving along that path, and then also no explosions. We didn't have any explosions or fires reported, so we're extremely fortunate that it wasn't any worse than what it was.
Around 3 Friday afternoon, people who live near the tracks paralleling Howard Street say first they heard a rumble.
The power flickered, came back on. Just felt like the house shake a little bit.
Then passersby like Angelica McKnight watched the cars one by one slow and spill.
It's not like when you hear a train when it comes to a complete stop and it's like but it ain't really nothing happening. You just know the train is stopping. But the train, it just fell all over. That's the only thing that happened. It wasn't like speed or nothing like that. It just fell over.
They fell so gently that there is little visible damage to the cars other than dislodged wheels. Firefighters say the only close call involved a woman driving below the tracks when the train went off the rails. Now her car may spend some time stuck in park inside an active scene, but she is otherwise okay. CSX says there were no injuries, no deaths, and no environmental threats like spills or leaks. Tweeting Friday night, the company wrote in part, personnel are on site with local emergency management and will be evaluating actions to restore the site as quickly and safely as possible. And back out here live, another look at this now dark and relatively quiet scene. Now, in that statement from CSX, the company goes on to apologize for any disruptions this may have caused. But something to note, passenger trains have been and continue to run on schedule. Reporting live in Baltimore tonight, I'm Kimberly Eaton for WJZ.
Kimberly, thank you. Our live team coverage continues now with Max McGee. He speaks with a woman who had a close call after a pole came crashing down on her car after the train derailed. Max?
That's right, Mary. Jennifer Gwynn was inside of her car on Falls Road, just outside of the Streetcar Museum, when that train derailed earlier this afternoon. A telephone pole came down and hit her car. It's a story she almost never got to tell tonight.
I heard a loud bang, and I looked up, and the train was falling off the bridge.
Jennifer Gwynn is lucky to be alive after she was feet away from a train derailment on Falls Road in downtown Baltimore Friday. What happened next still has her shaken up.
It hit the telephone pole hit the back of my car, and I started to drive off, and BGE happened to be doing some work up the street, and they just came running over and told me, get out of the car.
Chopper 13 over Gwynn's black minivan. While her vehicle did suffer some damage, Gwynn was not hurt. Chopper 13 also capturing a fallen train car on top of a small building across from the Streetcar Museum. A streetcar member tells WJZ that building is the power source for the museum, and it was knocked out of commission.
Because what I could see, the roof is smashed in, the walls are blown out, and the car is lodged in there.
A MICA student says she heard the loud bang from inside her art studio.
We heard it and we were like, what was that? Like, it sounded like a train that derailed, but we didn't know what really happened. Now we do.
Gwynn, still emotional, says she's grateful to be alive.
I was in total shock. It's not every day that a train falls on your car.
I spoke to Gwynn's husband tonight. He said if that telephone pole hit 4 feet to the left or 4 feet to the right, his wife would have been dead. As of right now, West Lafayette Avenue right behind me remains closed. Live in downtown Baltimore, I'm Max McGee for WJZ.
Oh my gosh, Max, so glad she is okay. Thank you. A witness on Falls Road described the derailment in some vivid detail to WJZ this afternoon. Paul Gessler is live in Midtown with a description from a driver who saw the train cars actually fall. Paul?
Yeah, it's pretty wild hearing her describe it, Mary. I can echo what Kimberly said earlier in the show. It is definitely a different feel from 5 hours ago. We're here on Falls Road and Maryland Avenue, where the only emergency response vehicle we see is in that spotlight there. That's the Baltimore Police Mobile Command Center. Most of the crews are up Falls Road a little bit. We're on Maryland Avenue and Falls Road. Falls Road is a country road in the middle of Baltimore City. It's adjacent to I-83, known as a shortcut to drivers and a bike route for cyclists, both of which witnessed the derailment today. Cheryl Sedera sent us these pictures this afternoon before calling into WJZ News at 4, just 90 minutes after witnessing the train cars fall from above.
But I've never imagined it would be as graceful, like it wasn't a big thud and shatter, it was just like peaceful.
A peaceful, almost slow motion derailment, she says, of an empty freight train.
No, it was not a kaboom, no explosions, no nothing.
Sedera says the way the train fell sticks out in her memory.
I think even if I was under the bridge, I would have been able to slam on the brakes. It was slow. It was quiet.
Quiet, and just moments away from falling on her or the cyclist on Falls Road in front of her.
Really, I think I was in shock. You know, again, I didn't really think of myself being smushed under there. I was just like, well, I'm lucky my car didn't get hurt.
Back live now here on Maryland Avenue and Falls Road. Sedera told us that the first car fell from that track diagonally. She went on to tell me tonight she is relaxing tonight with family, friends, and cocktails. Mary?
With stories to tell, Paul, thank you. Here's everything we know right now. A train derailed above the 1900 block of Falls Road near the Streetcar Museum in Baltimore. At least 9 cars came off the tracks. They were all empty and no one was hurt. Officials don't believe there's any environmental impact nor hazard to the community.